Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So today, we're going to be exploring something I find super intriguing, the mind-body connection.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like how much our thoughts and emotions actually influence our physical health, you know.
I'm really curious about that. It's one of those things where you kind of sense it's true, but how much.
Exactly. And to help us unpack this whole thing, we've got three really interesting YouTube videos lined up.
Okay, cool.
We've got one by Dolores Cannon. She's a renowned hypnotherapist.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah, and then we'll be hearing from R.J. Spina, who talks about something called instantaneous healing, which already sounds kind of mind-blowing.
Whoa, okay. Instantaneous. That's a big claim.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, we'll be delving into the story of Dr. Deb and her personal experience with a technique called theta healing.
Sounds like a fascinating lineup. I'm ready to dive in.
Me too.
Yeah.
So the big question we're tackling today is, can we really heal our bodies through the power of our minds?
That's a big one.
It is. So let's start with Dolores Cannon. She makes this really bold statement right off the bat. She says, quote, "You're not supposed to ever be sick."
Wow. Okay. That's pretty radical.
Right. It definitely makes you stop and think.
Hmm.
So what do you make of that statement?
Well, it seems like she's suggesting that illness isn't our natural state. Like our bodies are actually designed to be healthy.
I think that's what she's getting at. She believes that our bodies are these incredible self-healing machines.
But then why do people get sick if we're so good at healing ourselves?
Well, according to Cannon, it's often our minds that get in the way. She says that negative thoughts, suppressed emotions, unresolved trauma, all of that stuff can disrupt the body's natural healing process.
You mean like we're actually making ourselves sick?
That's the idea. And she even talks about how certain illnesses can be linked to specific emotional patterns. Like, she gives the example of cancer being linked to suppressed anger.
Really? So if we're holding on to anger, it could potentially manifest as cancer.
That's what she suggests. It's like our emotions can literally get stuck in our bodies and create blockages.
It's kind of scary to think about how powerful our emotions can be.
I know, right? It makes you wonder, what else are we holding on to that could be affecting our health? And this is where things get even more interesting. Cannon also delves into past life regression.
Past lives. Okay, now we're getting into some deep stuff.
I know. But she believes that sometimes the root cause of an illness can actually be traced back to experiences in a past life.
So like a trauma from a past life could be influencing our health in this life?
Exactly. She says that by exploring these past life experiences, we can uncover hidden traumas and emotional patterns that might be contributing to our current health challenges.
That's a whole other level of mind-body connection.
Right. It's pretty wild stuff. So, if our minds are powerful enough to make us sick, could they also be the key to healing?
I guess that's the big question, isn't it?
It is. And that's where we'll shift gears and explore the work of R.J. Spina, who talks about something called instantaneous healing. But we'll save that for the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I can't wait to hear about that. Instantaneous healing. That just sounds incredible.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dive into R.J. Spina and this whole idea of instantaneous healing.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this one. Instantaneous healing, it sounds almost too good to be true.
Right. It definitely pushes the boundaries of what we typically think is possible.
Oh.
So R.J. Spina shares this pretty wild story about a woman who was basically on her deathbed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was in really bad shape. And he says that she experienced complete healing in just 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Come on, that's got to be some kind of exaggeration, right?
I know, it sounds unbelievable, but that's what he claims. And he explains it by saying that this kind of radical healing happens when we let go of our ego. He calls it the false self, all those limiting beliefs we carry around.
It's like our thoughts are literally keeping us sick.
That's the idea. And he talks a lot about the power of surrender and humility in the healing process.
Surrender, so like giving up control.
Yeah, it seems like that's a big part of it. He actually shares his own experience with facing death and how surrendering was the turning point in his own healing journey.
That's interesting. It kind of makes sense, though, if we're constantly fighting and resisting, it creates tension.
Exactly. It's like we're creating this internal battle that's draining our energy and preventing us from healing.
So maybe letting go allows that energy to flow freely again.
Maybe. It's definitely something to think about. And speaking of letting go, it makes me think about Dr. Deb and her journey with theta healing.
Oh, right. Theta healing. So remind me, how does theta healing work again?
Well, it's kind of a complex technique, but basically it involves tapping into a deep state of relaxation.
Okay, like meditation.
Kinda, but it goes beyond that. They say it's about accessing what they call the seventh plane of existence, which is supposedly the source of all healing.
Seventh plane of existence. That sounds pretty out there.
I know, it can sound a bit woo-woo to some people, but they believe that by connecting to this higher power, we can facilitate healing in ourselves and others.
Interesting. So it's not necessarily tied to any specific religion, but more about connecting with some kind of universal force.
Exactly. It's about tapping into that inner wisdom and allowing that energy to flow through you.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. But did Dr. Deb actually experience any results with this theta healing?
Oh, yeah, she did. She says she used to drink a ton of coffee,
Oh, really?
like a lot. But after she started doing theta healing, she just didn't crave it anymore.
Wow, so just like that, she just stopped.
Yeah. And she claims she felt so much lighter and happier overall.
Interesting. It's amazing how these techniques seem to work on so many levels, Not just physical, but mental and emotional, too.
Right. It's like a whole body transformation.
Ugh.
And get this, she also tells this story about her hip. She had chronic pain for years.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But then, during a theta healing practice group, her hip just spontaneously healed.
What?
Yeah. She could suddenly walk and exercise without any pain.
That's unbelievable. Like, did she go to a doctor to confirm or anything?
I don't know if she did, but she says it was a measurable, tangible difference she could actually feel in her body.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. It really makes you think about the power of the mind.
It really does. It kind of brings us back to that idea of surrender that R.J. Spina was talking about.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, maybe when we let go of resistance and fully embrace the healing process, our bodies can actually do amazing things.
It's almost as if our minds, with all our worries and doubts, can get in the way of our body's natural ability to heal.
Yeah, exactly. So much of what we've talked about today points to this incredible power we have within us.
This ability to influence our own health and well-being.
It's like we're not just passive passengers in our bodies.
We're the drivers.
Exactly. So what do you think? Are you ready to take the wheel?
I think I am. It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Me too. And for all of you learners out there, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to explore this connection between your mind and body.
To really tap into that incredible healing potential we all have within us.
It's a journey worth taking, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us on another deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep those minds and bodies healthy.